I'm back with some more Bannerlord, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Valkyrie mod. What the Valkyrie mod does is it adds a new kingdom into the game for the Valkyries, and they come with their own lords, well, ladies, and they come with their own troop trees and everything. So I'll be taking a look at that. But before we jump into that, if you download your mods manually like me, there's some minor configuration you have to do before you can get the mod to work, which I'll show you now. So we've got the Valkyrie zip file. When we extract it, you end up with a file like this. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to move Valkyrie settlements outside of this folder. So you've got the two of them. And then this is where the configuration comes into it. So if we go into Valkyrie settlements, we have an existing submodule and a new submodule. What this is referring to is the mod has two options. It will either take existing Sturgeon towns and give some of them to the new Valkyrie kingdom, which is existing, or what it will do is it will add the other choice is to add new cities and like a new area to the map near Sturgia that is for the Valkyrie. So rather than take a little bit of Sturgia, it's entirely new towns and cities. So for this video, I will be doing the new cities. So what we want to do is we want to delete the existing one and we want to rename the new one, but remove the new part. Once we've done that, we want to go inside module data and do the exact same thing for this file. We want to rename it and we want to keep the scene OBJ file. This is because this will add the new areas to the map. If you're going to use the existing cities and you don't want the new areas, you'll delete this file. But as I said, I want them, so I'll be keeping them. So we're in the Valkyrie folder now, and what you want to do here is the configuration thing. This affects the troops. So we're given two choices. You got the regular troops, which is how the creator designed the Valkyrie. They're kind of like a Sturgeon Viking-y theme. They are Norse, so this makes sense. Then you have the Skimpy. And what the Skimpy is, it uses an optional Amazonian mod that you'll also need to install separately and makes the entire faction use the Amazonian armor. But I didn't want that. They are the Valkyrie, so to me it made sense to use the regular armor that the creator designed and not the Skimpy Amazonian one. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to delete the Skimpy one and remove the regular part. So what you'll want to do now as well is also in module data, you got regular equipment, Skimpy equipment. Inside each one, it's just a Valkyrie equipment file. So what you want to do is you want to remove the one that you want to use. You want to move it one folder back. So we're using regular. We want to move this back one folder. So it's here with the rest of the module data. And you're good to go. Your game is now configured. We've configured it to use new cities and the original armor. So we're now in game after setting up our configuration, and you can see if we go to the north of the map, you got Sturgia, you'll see this new kingdom. We zoom in. We have this new kingdom belonging to the Valkyries. They have a town, they have two castles, and then they have a couple of surrounding villages to go with them. I believe it's 6 villages. So what would have happened is if we configured the game to use existing settlements instead, what it would have done is it would have taken this area up here and given it to the Valkyrie. But by doing it this way, it's an additional area. So you can see in the kingdom list, the Valkyrie are their own kingdom. It has a bit of a backstory behind them. They're currently at war with the Western Empire. As I said, they got 1 town, 2 castles. They're made up of 3 different clans, and that's their leader. If we take a look at the clans, so here you have the ruler of the Valkyries, and then you have 2 vassals, and just 2 nobles belonging to the Valkyrie. In the other clan, this is the second clan, we have a vassal, another vassal, and then a noble and a vassal. And in the third clan, we have a vassal, and a noble. So as you can see, it's a small, well-done kingdom. In terms of actual gameplay, I don't know how well the kingdom holds out. Being a small kingdom, I don't know if that means the kingdom gets taken advantage of. But you can go here and you can recruit their own troops. So let's take a look at their troop tree. So to make it easier for us, on the left in the encyclopedia is a Valkyrie culture. So the Valkyrie are made up of two distinct troop trees. We'll take a look at troop tree 1. So here you got your Valkyrie recruit, bog standard, basic armor, and a hatchet. And then you can choose to become a archer or an infantry. If you go down the infantry route, you can see they're quite Norse inspired. So you've got an axe, you got a spear, you got javelins, and the color and the design of the armor. And then you can see as it goes down, it's more Viking-like. Pretty much the similar equipment, just more heavily armored. And then again, you got your javelins, your spear, your shield. Well, you're pretty much the same equipment, just even more armor compared to the previous one. And then we come down to the final troop. And again, a one-handed, a shield, a spear, and some javelins, along with fully kitted out armors. You can see the armors are Viking inspired. They're pretty cool design, and the mod is not a very big install, so it's not as if it pulls in all these assets or anything, but it's just quite a nice, well done mod. Then we have the ranged line. Again, similar design, you just bog standard armor, very basic. Comes with a one-handed, a bow, and 2 sets of arrows. Here the armor gets a bit thicker, but again, a one-handed, a bow, 2 sets of arrows. And what are the odds? The armor gets a bit thicker. I'm not entirely sure what the yellow part's about. I thought the blue looked quite nice. Like here, the blue behind the armor looks pretty good. Not entirely sure. The yellow seems to be only to do with the ranged. Don't see any yellow on the other troops. But then you go into the final ranged unit, and again, one-handed, bow, 2 sets of arrows, and a lot heavier armor than the previous one. And now here we've got the Valkyrie Noble line. This is similar to Britannian's Noble line with the is it the Fian champions? That's how they're pronounced. So here, this is the Valkyrie Nobles. They're entirely archers, and it follows a similar pattern to the other troop tree as mentioned before. Have a one-handed, a bow, 2 sets of arrows, very basic armor. Then you got your better armor, your better one-handed, the same bow. No, it is a stronger bow. And again, we go down a tier. The armor gets more armor. This time around, it's an actual 2-handed broadsword as opposed to an axe. Here we were dealing with just a one-handed axe. But yeah, we've gone to the 2-handed broadsword, but again, it's a different bow, but a bow nonetheless, with the 2 sets of arrows and thicker armor. I love when I swap troop for that brief moment, you just get a bold woman. Just a random bold woman. But as you can see, this time now, we've gone into like full chainmail. We're sticking with a 2-handed sword. It's a different 2-handed sword, but it's still a 2-handed sword. And a bow with some arrows. And then the final tier, we've got another 2-handed sword, a bow, some arrows, and similar to the infantry in the other troop tree, this heavily stacked armor with the padding. It's a pretty cool design. But that pretty much covers the Valkyrie mod. This was just a quick little look into it. I just thought it was a pretty cool mod with the design of it. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya!